Hey guys, this month we are going back to one of my favorite eras. Although I didn't exist in this decade, I digress. This month I'm stuck in the 80s. I don't mind, but you better come at me, I'll be back in time. Each week in October and early November, I will be doing a review of something from the 1980s. We'll have movies, games, and albums. So I thought, what would be an essential of the 80s? What would highlight the style of some of the movies from that era? And I thought, of course, the Rambo series. In 1972, David Morrell wrote a novel entitled First Blood. It was a thriller about the psychologically traumatized Vietnam vet Rambo. In 1982, the movie was adapted into a screenplay. Sylvester Stallone plays vet John Rambo. When he visits a small Washington town, self-righteous sheriff Will Teasel, played by Brian Dennehy, imprisons Rambo for vagrancy. When in the prison, Rambo is beaten and forced to shave by an overzealous cop. Rambo flashes back to the POW camp in Nam and uses his guerrilla-style tactics to break out of the department. There he makes it to the mountains where he wages war against the law. Next to Rocky, I definitely think this is Stallone's strongest performance. Rambo speaks little, but when he does, you can tell he's hurting. Dennehy is excellent as Teasel, and he literally makes you hate the character. The next greatest performance is Richard Crenna, who plays Rambo's troop commander, Colonel Sam Troutman. He is very convincing in the role. You can feel the devotion Troutman has, and the belief that if they try to apprehend Rambo, many cops will die. The overall tone of the film is dark. Most of the film is either at night or overcast, giving it a moody feel. Jerry Goldsmith's gripping score thickens the tension, and the camera work is really slick. This makes the film really enjoyable to watch, and the feel of it still sticks with you. This is probably one of the best action films ever made, and maybe one day I will discuss it in greater detail. But let's move on to the sequels. In 1985, Rambo First Blood Part 2 was released. It starts with Troutman visiting Rambo in prison, saying he'll be released in exchange for a favor. Rambo has to go back to Vietnam to identify the existence of American POWs. Rambo accepts, but along the line he's double-crossed and left alone in the jungle. Now it's kill or be killed, and Rambo does just that as he plots to rescue the soldiers. Stallone and Crenna are the only two returning characters from First Blood, and once again they are top-notch as their characters. Charles Napier plays Marshall Murdoch, the head of the government rescue team, who, like Brian Dennehy, portrays his character excellently, and you love to hate him. Steven Berkoff plays Lieutenant Colonel Prodovsky as a Russian comrade of the Vietnamese. Berkoff always seems to play a bad guy, and once again he's good at it. The moody and dark feel of First Blood, unfortunately, is wiped away. The film, the setting, all of it seems polished. Even during the rainy day it's sunny. Dead serious. Goldsmith returns to do the score, but it's nowhere near the caliber of the first film, so the film is weaker than First Blood, but it's still an enjoyable watch. In 1988, Rambo 3 was released. Once again, Rambo is confronted to aid the American soldiers, along with Troutman, to deliver missiles to the Afghans, which are being attacked by the Russians. Rambo refuses. But once the Americans are overpowered by a Russian general and his men, and Troutman is taken hostage, Rambo goes into battle to rescue his friend. Again, Stallone and Crenna are the only returning cast members and do their job well. Mark DeJong, or however you say his name, plays Colonel Zazin, the brutal Russian leader who is relentlessly planning attacks of the Afghans. He's good. He's James Bond villain good. I'm surprised he wasn't a Bond villain. The sleek and heroic feel of the second film is back with a vengeance. There are countless one-liners and ridiculous action sequences, especially the finale. Goldsmith just can't seem to get the feel of the first film's score back, and the director can't get that moody feel again. So all in all, enjoyable, but weak. Now we fast forward to 2008. After Stallone made his comeback with Rocky Balboa in '06, another Rambo movie was inevitable. So, Rambo was released, directed and written by Stallone. Now, whether you know this film as Rambo or John Rambo or Rambo 4, it's the same movie. So let's move on. Rambo has lived out his life in Thailand, catching snakes and selling them. When a group of missionaries come to him to help them reach Burma to deliver medicine, he blatantly refuses, as Burma is a treacherous war zone. The missionaries go on alone and are taken hostage by the Burmese soldiers. Rambo gets word, and with the help of several mercenaries, he brings hell. Richard Crenna unfortunately passed away in 2003, making Stallone the only person to make it through all 4 films. And after 20 years, he's still freaking great. He's grizzled and angered by the world, and has a very negative outlook on humanity. He just dominates the screen. Also, the men who play the mercenaries do a good job of stealing the show, with shouts of obscenities and pithy humor. The moody feel is back, big time. So much so it's brutally depressing. The footage of the soldiers hacking apart men, women, and children in the villages is haunting, and the bloodshed is immense. Explosions tear away flesh and bone, bullets saw off legs and explode heads. It's intense and downright gritty, to say the least. Brian Tyler picks up the score, and he does a darn good job of it. This is truly worthy of the Rambo name. So in conclusion, I find First Blood to be the best in the series. Rambo 4 next, and numbers 2 and 3 are a tie. You can be the judge, but that's my honest opinion. That ends the review. Tune in next week for more Stuck in the 80s.